If you were after an offbeat 3D puzzle game in the late 90s, the PS1 was the place to go. You had exclusives like Devil Dice, demo disc favourite Kurushi/Intelligent Cube, and greatest game in the known universe, No One Can Stop Mr.Domino. But perhaps the strangest of them all, and I'm aware that this is a bold claim given that the latter of those games features an anthropomorphic domino wreaking havoc in casinos and supermarkets, was Kula World. In Kula World, Rollaway or Kula Quest, depending on where you're from, you have to guide a beach ball around floating Escher-esque environments with gravity changing depending on which plane of the platform your ball's on. While the concept is an interesting one, the controls in Kula World couldn't be more basic. Up on the D-pad pushes you forward, left and right rotate the camera, and X jumps. The actual objective is simple too. Just collect the keys and get to the exit before the timer runs out. There are more things to collect than just the keys too. Each level is littered with gems and tokens to enhance your score, and there's one piece of fruit to be found per stage as well. If you collect 5 fruits, you're whisked off to a bonus stage with a background that looks like something out of the visualizer from a Codemasters music game. The objective here is to light up all the blocks by landing on them rather than simply finding the exit, but you only get one shot at it. Not content with having the player negotiate changing gravity and perspective to complete their task, Kula World throws in all manner of traps, from standard video game obstacles like spikes and fire to pills that slow you down while speeding time up and weird spiky bouncing tornado things. The game makes sure that no level is the same. Even though Kula World was one of the first games to use the DualShock's vibration function, right stick camera control wasn't really a thing back then, so there's no free look. However, you can use R1 and R2 to look up and down, which means that thankfully leaps of faith are kept to a minimum. But that's not to say there isn't a healthy degree of bullshit here. Most of it comes in the form of invisible platforms, which feature heavily in a few of the game's worlds and are found sporadically in the rest. They force some later levels to devolve into trial and error affairs. Now this wouldn't be so bad if the game's scoring system enabled unlimited retries, but every time you die, and there are many ways to die, you lose the points you've already gained in that level plus a set amount that's based on how far you are into the game. Once your score reaches 0, it's game over, but you are able to save every 5 levels. Mercifully, the game gives you a sunglasses item to see the platforms, but this doesn't appear until you're near the end of the game, and Kula World is a pretty long game. With 10 worlds containing 15 levels each, not to mention a world only accessed by hidden exits in certain levels, you're gonna be playing Kula World for a long time. And there are even more hyper difficult levels available after finishing the main game, but I didn't play them back in 1998 and I sure as hell didn't play them when shooting for this video. Now concerns over replay value are valid, but this is more of a problem with the puzzle genre in general rather than Kula World itself. There's thankfully no tacked on story to branch off in different directions, and most puzzles later in the game only have one solution. But it's the multiplayer that's the biggest letdown in this regard. Obviously Kula World isn't going to be an absolute laugh riot couch co-op romp, but its meagre multiplayer offers are still disappointing. There's no split screen, only time trial and a Simon Says style mode, and both are past the pad. Now I can't say that a beach ball bouncing puzzle game set on platforms floating in the sky will be for everyone, but if you're a fan of more modern perspective puzzle games like the PSP's Echochrome series and Crush, then Kula World comes recommended. It's not easy and it's not quick, but with some patience and a lot of points to spare, the later levels can be conquered, even with the cheap tricks the game throws at you. If you are interested in Kula World, then there's good news and bad news. The bad news is that a physical copy in the UK will set you back quite a bit, and in the US it's not available as a PS1 classic on the PlayStation Network. The good news is that it is available on PSN in the UK for $3.99, and a box copy doesn't cost you too much in the US. Even if you ignore Super Monkey Ball, which is by far the most popular ball-based series, there are still several ball-centric games out there, but none are remotely close to Kula World in terms of puzzle solving and control. So with that in mind, I'd say it's still worth checking out, especially if you can get it on PSN on PS3 for that bargain price.